Here is how you're going to achieve this slick back look with just one product. So the first thing that you want to do is brush out your hair, and you don't want your hair to be that clean. I'm on day 4 of not washing my hair, so it is quite oily up at the top, but this is what we want. If we're only going to use one product, we want most of the oil just to come from our head. So now that it's brushed, what I'm going to do is get the part in that I want, and I'm going to tuck it all behind my ears and kind of bring it to the shape of a ponytail. And then here I have a slick back brush, and I'm going to take the side with the thicker bristles. You don't have to do this, you can just use a regular brush, but I'm going to start pulling the hair back, basically putting it in the shape that it needs to be and making sure that it is really smooth. And now that I have the general shape, what I'm going to do, this isn't the end result, don't worry, I'm going to put my hair up into a ponytail at the bottom where I want it to be. So just like this, and it's all really messy at the top and everything, and we're going to fix that because this is where that one product comes in. So I have a slick back wax stick here from a brand that I cannot read. Here you go. This was actually my sister's, but she lets me use it. So I've used this quite a bit, and what we're going to do is we're basically just going to start slicking everything down while the hair is in that ponytail. We're just pushing it all, and we're going to end up with a lot of extra hair at the bottom, kind of leaning into that ponytail, and that's okay because that is what we want. So now the sides are pretty slick. They're not neat yet, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the hair out of the bobble, and they're starting to stay in place a little bit now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this brush again, and I'm going to just, this time with the thinner bristles, I am just going through the wax just to break it down a little bit, just so it doesn't look clumpy, and I'm just shaping the hair. And now what we're going to do, while the bobble is still out, we're going to put some more to the back of the head, just because that's harder to do while it's in the bobble. So I'm simply just running the wax stick through the hair, and then again I'm going to brush it out a little bit. I'm going to put it back into that ponytail. Okay, so I've not yet put it into the bobble. I'm just going through again and making sure now all of the lines are smooth, because by this stage they're not going to be very smooth, but that is what we're going to work on right now. Also, another thing that I'm doing with the brush when I'm going through is I'm not using like all the bristles. I'm like angling it backwards so that only like the first row of bristles make a lot of contact, and it's kind of angled because that makes it so there's like no lines or streaks in the hair. That's what gives it that like really smooth effect. So I've spent a long time smoothing it down. I am not having a good hair day at all, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put it back in that bobble, and I'm going to keep it as tight to my head as I can. Like, I don't want this bobble to move forward at all. It has to stay so tight. I don't do slick backs, so they're like pulling my face basically, so I'm going to give myself a receding hairline. I do